way.
And that's expected.
Yeah, yeah.
That's expected.
How about tell me a little bit about the women who ended up starting the Malky Museum here? It was your grandmother and Joan. I don't know Jane. I'm sorry, I don't know much about her.
She was a Pablo from out here, and the Pablos actually were one of the original people that were out here. And the Pablos were, my grandpa was a Pablo. He was his grandfather was a Pablo, I think it was, but he was directly where they were first cousins there, and that was Matt and Jean. I can't remember exactly how Matt and Jean were related to Jane, but they were first. Jane and my grandpa were first cousins. Jane Penn Pablo. She lived right here, right over here in this little building over here. This was all her property one time, all the way going way up this way, like it was like 80 acres. She owned a lot of land. Her descendants right now are over here. That one, that Clarice Guasic. She's had some real bad things in her life. She had her mother. They got into an accident a long time ago, and they lost her. Her and her sister. And the only one left now is this girlie right here, and these are all descendants of those people.
That's right. You mentioned that those are relations. Are the people that live across the road from you?
Right here.
Yeah.
All these people right here, my grandpa's people, they're all related. Yeah. And they're real close cousins. They're not distant. They're pretty close. They were Wanakeeks. Those old men were Wanakeeks, and they were big men. They were large, very large men. And very
I remember you telling me about that.
They were
huge,
very strong.
huge guys.
Huge guys. It just was. They were scary. They come in like but when they talked, they had this big old smile. It just took away all that fear. They're good people. They really would. They really were. I don't think they lived very long though. I think they all died pretty early. You know, just the drinking times.
Drinking or diabetes or.
And the fact that they were so huge that their legs couldn't hold them no more. Their knees.
I remember you mentioned they had problems getting around when they got older.
When they got older.
Yeah.
And I wasn't around. I think I was away on the extended vacation when they passed away, because I don't remember them passing away.
Yeah.
But I do remember them when they were alive. My grandma had, when Jane started this museum, my grandma wasn't involved at first for the first couple of years. But then Jane, see, if you look around, you'll see a lot of these like mortars and stuff. Jane got a hold of those things, and she categorized everything. She did everything she could to preserve the Wanakeek culture here. Because Jane didn't even speak Wanakeek. She didn't even speak Cahuilla. And that was kind of a loss. Neither did Matt, and neither did Jean. They didn't speak Cahuilla. And how we know this is because my grandma and them, they tried to speak to him, but they couldn't. And it was because the Wanakeek Cahuilla was already dying out then. But the mountain Cahuilla wasn't. My grandma apparently had talked to Jane one day, and Jane came and was asking if my grandma could come over and help her with the museum. She did, and my grandma found out that she was a perfect candidate, and Jane decided to ask her if she would continue on with this museum because she knew the language and she knew the best about our culture and everything at the time. She was just young then. My grandma agreed to it, and from then on out, she pretty much was the co-founder of this place. And then Jane passed away, and then she became the president, my grandma. She just took over. She just seized control, and from then until now, and maybe we could take a little walk over there, and I'll show you the old museum where they started. You can see, we could take a little picture of it and show you where they started out and where they are right now. We've got pictures and to show what it looked like when my grandpa was just building this museum right here, putting it together. And it's just astounding how they did this, because it came from nothing to where we are. Some people may think it's nothing right now, but when you come here during the Memorial Day Festival, the fiesta, you can see how many people come. And at one time, they used to be for 3 days. Now that was fun, but unfortunately, all the people, us youngsters, ruined it because they'd be all drinking and partying and have a big fire right here and playing peon all night, and they'd be gunshots. Next thing you know, they ended that because of the fact that people were coming unruly at nighttime. But that was when it was fun. When it was a 3-day thing, I remember because we were right across the street over here, and we'd all be listening to the gunshots, watching people, and you could hear them all night just having a good old time. But those people mostly are all gone too. The guys that were running around acting silly, just terrible things happen. Mostly drinking, But this museum has come a long way. My grandma has worked a long time with this, and I'm hoping that in due time that the right person, the same way. It's just ironic because how my grandma did, that's exactly how I see Elaine. Elaine's been here a long time. When she was like coming out of school, I think it was. She's got a degree. Is it a degree, or she's a college graduate? She's intelligent enough to do what my grandma did here. So let's cross her fingers.
Explain just. Talk a little bit about Elaine and her position here. She's a tribal member. She lives out on the res here. Since you just introduced her, Elaine is the she's kind of, I guess, the operational boss
Yes.
right now. She a board member also?
Yeah, I think she's, yes, yes, she's a board member.
Okay.
Yes.
And so she is who you mentioned your grandma wished would continue on the museum.
Oh, yeah. She, like, the last thing we remember my grandma say was that she said that, told Elaine, grabbed her by her hand and was just holding her hand. Elaine was just going like that. She said, you know what to do, Elaine. You know how to take care of everything. Take care of everything. You know what to do, she told her. And I was like, oops, there it is there. But I didn't think it was going to, she was going to pass away on us. But I believe, yeah, because every time I remember something always going on, it was always with Elaine.
Yeah.
Ask Elaine this. When I think I remember her even working the front desk over here. That's how long ago that was. And the other people that was working here was Mike, and unfortunately Mike passed away a long time ago. But the people that I remember the most was Elaine.
Yeah.
I remember going over to that old building over there and seeing Jane just stuffed up behind a little corner like this and just doing her little things. I think Elaine must have been young by then too. Maybe she was going to school then. But until this was really going like right here, that's where I remember her really kicking in. That was like in the late 70s, early 80s, till now.
Oh, she's been around.
Oh, yeah. She's been involved with this museum for a long. She could probably tell how many years, but I can't. I couldn't tell you exactly. But I know the longest person. So if anybody has a problem with that, well, it's up to them.
Yeah.
I guess they have to do that decision thing. So.
The museum and was it Malky Bellina Press and.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
But your museum here has got the peer-reviewed publication that comes out for people all over the world. Scientists, students like myself, anthropologists, people interested. You've had the kids coming out from local Banning schools this last couple of weeks, doing their school projects,
that's right.
doing their walking around, taking photos, in the quiche and all of that. What do you view the museum's purpose out here as far as keeping the greater Cahuilla and Serrano's kind of mission alive, but it expanded to do just a Journal of Greater Southwest, kind of all the Paiute and all the different Indians, the history from the area. What do you think the future role with the academic press and the museum is itself, and kind of, I'm making this question too complex. What do you just view the future of the museum as?
I would hope it would continue staying small.
Yeah.
I would hope, yes, because the bigger it gets, the harder it'll get to manage, and the more people will come in to try to change something. Right now, they're already apparently having problems with the group they're having. People they say, oh, what, we can make you more money, we can do this or we can do that. When the reality is that, yeah, by making more money, what do you have to do? By being a nonprofit, I guess it's a nonprofit, where they're not getting any money directly from people. Yeah. They're not being told what to do by then. Okay, they can make their own decisions right here without. If the casino donates $100,000, then that gives the casino a right to come over here and tell us what to do in this museum, and that's wrong. That's wrong. Because my grandma and them never. That's why it got the way it is today, because they don't have that kind of stuff happening. So if somebody donates $1,000 or something, that's cool. They're able to just decide what they're going to do with that money. That's why the bigger they get, the harder it's going to be, and I see that now. I didn't really understand that till like just lately, and that's not very good thinking, but I would hope that they would stay small, and whatever they want to do, maybe they would build upwards instead of building outwards. Yeah. Does that make sense? I would hope that they do. And that Bellina Press, I hope it's working. That's somebody's little brainchild that they brought together, and I hope that goes all right, because at first I thought it was a little bit unscrupulous how they were doing it because of the people that were involved. And I was hoping